Hello and welcome back to Shining Force. Last time we our boat got marooned basically, and we ended up in this town of I think Rudo or something. But in any case, this town was right next to the land of Dragonia where the dragons live, and Runefaust was attacking it. So we rescued one of their dragons, the baby dragon Blue, or maybe Bleu. It's not clear. He might be French. But unfortunately, the evil Kane of Runefaust has just shown up and is attacking the town. He very politely told us that we could return to our headquarters and prepare before he attacked us. So, in this episode, basically we're going to step out of our headquarters and... Oh wait, I need to copy the file, I forgot. Oh, and first I need to, I finally got around to checking all the videos so we can, delete all of the spares. This game doesn't have very many save slots, as you can see, so you can't really keep archival saves, so I've just been trying to keep them until I have a chance to check that the videos are fine. So now we can copy my current chapter, save slot 2, and now, I like how every time she's like, let's get on with your adventure, it's like, I know, but we have to do all the prep work first. So between the last episode and this one, I did a bunch of grinding. So our army is, so basically to catch everyone up because members we've been using more frequently. All behind. I'm just gonna check our stats here. You can see that everyone is at least level 16. Domingo, with the exception of Domingo, he and Blue. Blue and Domingo, Blue started out a little weak, but just from looking at his stats, you can see that he catches up quickly if you're willing to do the grinding. So he don't need to worry as much about him being competitive in level. His attack is already 33 at level 14. He's very good. And Domingo, levels work a little differently for him because he doesn't promote. So we don't need to worry about him keeping him super competitive. He's already got freeze 3 and his stats are off the charts. So those two are a little different, but everyone else is at least level 16. We're getting closer and closer to when we will promote some people. Right now we have May at level 18, so I guess she's our closest currently. But they're all pretty close, so that's good. Our army's catching up. Oh, and we finally got to the point where Arthur has those exponential stat curves where at first he grows almost not at all. He got a lot of empty levels, but then as you get him up in level, he eventually starts to get a lot of stats. You can also see he finally got his first spell, Blaze. He gains MP quite slowly, so he's never going to be able to use a ton of spells, but this can be nice occasionally in a niche situation like, you know, when you're fighting an enemy that has super high defenses, this could do more than a regular attack sometimes. And you can see that his stats finally started to grow. He's pretty good now. He's still not amazing, but he'll get better with time. But anyway, so our army's all caught up. It was painful to do. This level was hard to grind on, but it was like, it was kind of... I didn't want to do the last couple ones either because I didn't want to take a break between recording them. I did them all the same day. So it was like now or never. Some characters like Ernest at level 8 were just not going to be able to catch up if we waited. So this is our current party. Here's Blue, the dragon. I feel my ancestors watching me as I prepare for battle. I'll make them proud. Let's go out there and do just that. But yeah, when you, we saw this map briefly last time, but when you see it again, I'll explain why grinding was just something of an exercise in frustration. Ha! I knew you couldn't hide in there forever. Kane, you're the one who let us go in there. You could have just killed us. Also, it doesn't have a door, so yeah. Come on out, little hero. Then be careful. Remember that Kane killed Varios. Like we could forget, he murdered our mentor in front of us. We're gonna forget that. Anyway, we did briefly look at the map last time, but let's just take another peek. This is a pretty large map. I don't know that it has any reinforcements. I only went through the first 2 enemy groups. I didn't go over to Kane's group for the grinding purposes. So maybe as you get later in the map, there's more stuff. But it's large, but there's not a lot to it. But there's no difficult terrain, so it's pretty straightforward. It's not, like, annoying to play. So we've got these gargoyles. These were the easiest enemies to grind with. But there's only 3 of them. So that would have just made the process so long. So I thought these guys also... The 2 master mages are quite dangerous. They both have freeze too, so they can gang up on you. And then you have this healer. I think these high priests must have boosted evade, because we would just miss him so often. It makes him really frustrating to kill. Then you have the golems. We ran into these in our previous battle as well. They have really high defense. So killing them with... But they don't have very much HP, as you can see. So killing them with magic, not too difficult. Like 2 multi-target spells from your casters, like a, Blaze 2 or Freeze 3 or whatever. and you'll take them out. But for grinding purposes, when all the characters who needed to level up were our melee characters, they were doing like, most of them were doing 1 damage. At first, once they start to level up a bit, they would do like occasionally 3 damage. It was a process. It was hard to weaken them with the magic users because the magic users would do so much damage that they would just kill them. But with patience, we eventually managed to level up grinding on all these guys. And since we were grinding a lot of knights, the lances helped us take those guys out, so it wasn't so bad. But, oh man, the golems made it so tedious. But I was like, if we waited any longer, there wasn't going to be a better map for it. Especially with Ernest at level 8, his attack might have gotten so low that it would have just been so difficult. And then, up here, we have Kane and his posse. We'll just view him again. I went on at length about this in the last episode, but his name is transliterated differently in his stat screen than the rest of the game. He also has 2 swords for some reason. I guess we'll find out how those work when we attack him. His stats are really high, he has tons of HP. He is going to be very difficult to kill. And there's a healer next to him, so we're going to want to take this guy out first. Otherwise, imagine how tragic it would be to get Kane down to like half HP and this guy heals it all. He's got heal level 4. That could happen. He's got a mage, so that's dangerous. And these 2 Durahans, who are also pretty tough. So he's got a little magic, a little melee bruisers. It's not going to be an easy fight. I also, last time, I thought Kane might be a moving boss because he went after like a bunch of other enemies and moved, and then I I retreated from the level because I didn't want to do it until this episode. So I was like, oh, maybe he keeps moving, because it was strange to me that he would leave the little house where he is, since that seemed like a defensible area. But as it turns out, what is actually happening is that, like many other bosses who move from their starting position to some point that they will just guard, you can see that even at level 18, like, even our max level guys are not doing a lot of damage to those golems. Our magic users are gonna be the key here. But anyway, it appears from grinding this level multiple times and waiting around, Kane just moves to that spot where he went to and he just waits there. That's his waiting area. Now I'm gonna have our flyers take care of these guys because they won't take as long to catch up since they can just fly over that cliff. Assuming they can hit them. The gargoyles, like other flying enemies, seem to dodge a lot. Those gargoyles were really helpful though for grinding up some of our level 13 and 14 characters who just couldn't even scratch the golems. They just were so good. That was basically the only way to get Gong a level. He just could not. His attack was so far behind everyone. He could not even scratch the golems. But in spite of how difficult it was, eventually we got there. I do wonder if I've been wondering this for a while, why sometimes certain levels seem to have enemies that are just a lot weaker than all the others. Like that last level where we had this will make guns fall behind a bit, but, I'm just like, oh, let's get these guys done. I can have them catch up in a little. Let's take it nice and slow. We had the skeletons in the level under Ring Reef, which were just so much weaker than everything else. I wonder if it's because that way, even if you've let some characters fall behind, there's at least a couple weak enemies somewhere in the level to grind. No idea whether that's accurate, but I think that would make sense from a game design perspective, that it's like, grinding is a feature of the game because you can retreat, but you might not, and there's also a lot of power jumps, right? Like the level of the golem spear, it's like, whoa, suddenly this is the tankiest enemy we've fought so far. You might not have expected it, and maybe you let your characters fall behind a little. If you made it so that the only way to kill the enemies in the level was to be at the target level for that section of the game, you could never catch people up. And you have such a large army, you can't use everyone at once, so I am like, oh, it makes sense. This may get Tao killed because she's right next to a golem, but I just want to take out that high priest because he's annoying. And magic, I don't actually know if it's even possible to dodge magic. I don't think we've seen it happen thus far this game, so I think it may be an auto hit. And he dodges all the time, which is annoying. Maybe if we're lucky, Domingo will get to go again. Otherwise, Tao will die, but she's level 18. We don't need to worry about grinding her that much. We're trying to get through this level here. It's okay to take some risks. The golems can the gargoyles rather, you see they have muddle. They can cast muddle. Quite a lot of my army has been hit by muddle during training, but I still don't really know what it does because I think it might be like a confusion thing, like from Pokemon, where there's when you're under muddle, there's some % chance that you'll, I don't know, not act or miss or whatever. I've never seen it happen, but the chance must not be very high because even when characters got hit by it, it didn't seem to change anything. They had a little animation of stars around their head. But other than that, this is good. Henri got to go. So, you know, she actually doesn't really need to use freeze 3 here. But at the same time, what is the point of saving that 3 MP? Let's just do it. Let's go for the gusto. Forgive me, I fought this battle like, oh man, I lost track of how many times. I fought it so many times level over and up. It was very slow. So I'm not that, I'm a little bored by it and I just want to quickly push through it to get to the next thing. I'm like, let's just move along here. It's not that interesting of a fight. I do like that there's 2 clusters of clearly separated enemies, and the golem cluster over here, they don't move until you start attacking them, which made it a lot easier to grind because we could, you know, sort of get there at our own pace until our weaker characters are ready. Okay, so we're gonna have to go up these stairs. Okay. Just checking the map layout there. I couldn't remember whether I had to go up those stairs and go around or what. Oh right, there was still 1 golem left. Hello, friend. They do a lot of damage, I will say. Look at that. So imagine if you got attacked by like 3 of them at once, you just die. I'm actually not gonna make it the kill because she is really high level and someone else could stand to. Blue's flaw, I would say, is that he only has 5 movements, so he's not as slow as like the ultra slow guns, but he's still not that fast. He flies, so he has a little more flexibility. But it's still like, you know, it's not ideal. Oh nice, we got crystal level. It's a little hard to keep her competitive, so it's good to, anytime we can get a little X-spin, it's helpful. The 3 range on the elf arrow, not only is it nice for positioning, it's also nice because it means she's a little closer to the actual goal. It's only a difference of 1 space, but it's still nice when you're just trying to get through the map. Now I haven't approached this cluster of enemies at all, so this is the part where the level is new to me also. Previously I was just killing, at first I actually didn't even kill all the golems, I was just killing the mages and then fleeing because the golems were taking so long to even chip down, but once we gained a few levels I started attacking the golems also. But I never went past, like, this little area of the map here, right? And then I would just egress. So I didn't realize that these enemies would start approaching once you started moving forward. So now the level's a little more like, oh, this is getting interesting, you know? Things are different. We're going to the part of the map I wasn't in before. It's funny that they're not casting Muddle anymore. I wonder if there must be some stat that you have that influences whether you get hit by it, because when I was training and all the characters were lower level, they were casting it like all the time. Or maybe it's influenced by like if your defenses are high enough that they wouldn't hurt you much to cast Muddle. I don't really know how the AI works. Maybe it was just random chance. They seem to cast it an awful lot though. Yeah, and I'm gonna have my birds just kind of rush sideways there since they don't have to care about the cliffs. He is gonna need a heal when we get around to it. Blue can go straight over this obstacle, so even though his movement is a little lower, at least he's not slowed down by that. Unfortunately Chris cannot go over the obstacle because apparently, I don't know, those stones must be larger than they look on screen, so I guess you can't walk on top of them because we couldn't get her next to, they're not quite, Domingo's not quite close enough to cast a spell yet. So we'll just have everyone kind of creep forward here. I guess we'll wait until the rest of the army catches up a bit. If I have the patience. See, this is why I like always having the 2 ranged weapons in the knights, even when we get the stronger melee ones, because in situations like this, it's really nice to be able to do a little chip damage on the mage without getting her in a position where she can be attacked by, like, the Durahans and Kane. She's still in danger from the mage itself, obviously, but because of that position by the cliff, even if there was a second mage there, they could not both attack her. So being able to use terrain obstacles like that makes 2 ranged weapons just... They're just really good sometimes like this, where we can kind of chip people down without putting ourselves in danger. I'm gonna have Domingo just get right in here and start scrapping. He can cast his freeze 3, like, you know, another 2 times after this, so he'll be really good to help get Kane down a little. You got the deadly attack on the one guy already weakened? No complaints, though, no complaints. You can see why I was not concerned about grinding Domingo. Oh boy, okay. Oh wow. Kane is a moving boss. Almost all the other bosses. Oh wow, that kind of killed it though. He like made this epic attack with 2 swords and Domingo was like, nope. But all the other bosses that we fought so far, or almost all of them to the point that I don't remember who didn't, pretty much stayed where they were until you got in melee with them and attacked them. Kane actually moved a fair distance to attack us, so whoa! Man, it turns out I was right about him being a moving boss, just not quite the way I originally thought. Holy shit. This makes him so much more dangerous. We need to block him off with our tanks right away, because he's really strong. And yet, I'm still gonna put Tao in a little bit of danger here, because we also need to damage him. You know, we can't wait around. His sprite looks very cool, too. He looks like... I guess he wields 2 swords at once in his sprite, even though it doesn't look like that's how it works in the stat screen. I don't think like the mechanics work that way, but I guess it's just so his art is correct. Ben is not as tanky as he once was. He only has 15 defense. If he dies, we lose. I think I'm not gonna have him go into melee. I'm leaving Tao vulnerable here, but I just want us to be able to squeeze in more people next to Kane. Oh, his defenses are really high, so magic is going to be very important here. Henri... We just gotta bust out the highest level spells we have and just wail on this guy, because he's really freaking strong. Like, we have to do this. It may get a lot of us killed, but what can we do? We gotta get rid of him. I probably should have waited until the rest of my army caught up, because, like, Guns is my big tank. But, I didn't have the patience because I just want to get this level done. I think I'm actually gonna have her heal Amon. Maybe I should use level 2. I would have to check when the actual amount of heals goes up since the game does. Ah, that was fine. The game doesn't tell you. Oh, my nose is running in. I think he's just healing himself, luckily. I gotta defeat one of those guys because Xylo can get out here. I didn't plan this all that well. My impatience has been my undoing. But, you know, can always play it again if needed, I guess. Oh, good. Okay, so I'm just gonna use another peekaboo stats. You can see that he actually got pretty darn tanky. So he is an excellent candidate to stand right next to Kane. And I don't know if it's just because his attack is that high, or if, yeah, I guess it is, because he was doing a lot more damage golems, but he didn't to Kane, so I guess it was just a matter of stats. Oddly, Domingo is like our best tank in the entire party. Also a great one to have in there, which is so weird, right? It's like, how is he the tank? He's the mage. Oh right, you can't use this when you're... I didn't realize you couldn't target freeze 3 against someone who was right next to you, but I guess that's the penalty for its increased range. So, even though he's an excellent tank, we're not going to move him next to Kane yet, because his spell is also one of our best ways of having Kane actually die. So it could be dangerous. Ooh! Oh, so his sword can cast magic. But it didn't seem to cost him MP, so I have no idea why he has MP. It's super irrelevant? He doesn't have any spells. But that blade, apparently he can use an instant kill ability. The hit chance on those, I am pretty sure, is quite low, but it's still very dangerous because if he casts enough times, you know, there's a lot of chances that it could hit eventually. He could just take out one of our best guys, but we're getting it pretty far down right now, so I'm gonna have Amon just help out against this priest since she is not quite tanky enough to take on the extremely powerful Durahans. I think they all die as soon as Kane dies, so... he's just not gonna do enough damage to be worth it. I'm gonna have Ben hang back. Sorry, Ben, but you're not the right person to take on the tanks here. Your attack isn't... When he promotes, it'll improve, but he can't use the upgraded weapon yet because he hasn't promoted, and... I'm not gonna bother killing them. Like, the Durahans are also... Their defenses are really high. Look at that. It'd just be so irritating to have to kill them. I'm just gunning for Kane here, basically. Also, like, this will at least help keep the priest... We want the priest to not be able to heal Kane, so, you know, we're kind of attacking him and hopefully blocking his movement enough that he cannot get over to heal the one guy that we absolutely need him to not heal. She won't do a ton because of Kane's high defenses, but every point is gonna count here. Oh, man. Oh, no! That was a roller coaster of emotions. I can't believe he dodged twice. Okay, she's got enough for one more... freeze 3, and then she can use like one level 1 freeze. But this might do it. This might... Oh, he's got 1 point left. Hopefully someone gets their turn next. I don't think this will work, but I'm gonna try because it's funny. That was the best thing ever. Kane, the man who killed Varia, our king, the dread general of Runefaust, was killed by this little tiny healer with a little healy staff. Okay, so the battle's over. It did not take very long. We fought it many times. But now comes the big moment. So, spoilers are about to happen. Arg, my mask is breaking! Epilepsy time, and where am I? I remember now. Dark Soul masked my face to control me. So this guy, he seems so evil, but he was actually under Dark Soul's mind control. He's actually just David Bowie, I guess? It sort of looks like it. I also like that his head appears much larger now that it's not in the mask. It was like compressing all of his hair, apparently. The portraits don't seem to line up particularly well, but yeah. The funny thing is that a couple of the other generals of Runefaust, like there was a couple other people that seemed like that King of Alteron who were like, oh, it's being controlled by Dark Soul, and they didn't have masks, but maybe it's like the level of control. So this guy was mind controlled and made to slaughter all these people. I gotta say, if you're in a video game and your name is Kane, you just need to not go near anyone with mind control powers, because this is a consistent problem for people with this name in video games. What have I done? He even made me fight you. Forgive me, Ben. This line may seem a little strange, right? It's like, even made us fight you. You've done a lot worse things than that. You murdered people and stuff, right? So why is fighting us? He didn't even... How does he know us? Well, apparently in the Japanese version, it was explicitly stated that Ben, or, well, Max, the main character here, we named him differently, is Kane's brother. That's why he's like, oh, he even made me fight my own brother. How could I have done that? But the English version apparently just didn't bother to put that in because of... And there are a lot of reasons why that might be. It comes out of friggin' nowhere. There's nothing else in the game. Like are we like an orphan or something? Is that... There's no obvious reason why we wouldn't have known we had a brother. It's not mentioned anywhere in the game, like, oh, your brother disappeared long ago or anything. So it's sort of just a completely random revelation that has nothing to do with the rest of the game. So maybe the translators were like, this will just be confusing. It's also possible that they, I don't know, just didn't for whatever reason. Translation is a little shoddy back in the day sometimes. It may also have been simply due to space restrictions. There's quite a lot of older games where, if you compare the Japanese and the English, it's the same, but the English text is like really stripped down to just the minimum amount of text to get the idea across without any, you know, sort of fleshing out of the world building or anything like that. And part of the reason is because, obviously in older games, there's just not as much space in the... And this was on cartridge back in the day, right? There's not only so much space in the cartridge to store things. And the Japanese text could be stored in a smaller amount of space than the English text because of how our languages work. So for this English text, each character, obviously, you have to have that information stored in the game. And because Japanese, if it's using kanji, hey, you have one symbol for a word. If you're using hiragana, that's still one symbol per syllable. Whereas in English, even if you just literally transliterate it into Romanji, like with, you know, Latin characters, that's 2 characters per syllable, so you're already doubling the space. And there's a lot of English words that are just very long. So often the English text had to be trimmed down because otherwise it could not fit in the game. So this may be a case of translators taking something out in order to meet space restrictions. I have no idea, but I do think it's amazing that they left in his line of, he even made me fight you, forgive me, which in the English version is like, do we even know you, really? You just showed up one day and murdered our mentor. You don't seem to... Like, why does it matter that you fought us as opposed to all these other people? Without knowing that he's our brother, that's... makes no sense. So they, like, left in that part of the cutscene and left out the context, which is amazing. Anyway, Darkseid was behind all the evil afoot. Stop him and it all ends. Let me also say, that's a really lazy storytelling device where all the villains... Oh, they were all mind controlled by one guy. None of them was actually bad. It's like, okay, this guy, Dark Soul took over Runefaust, and you're telling me none of the people in Runefaust were like, none of them went along with this because they thought it might benefit them in some way, or they wanted power or whatever, unlike in real life where the evil people of history do not have mind control powers. It's a little lazy. Check the shrine again. Well, before we check the shrine, we're gonna save the game. I'm impressed that we got through that battle with no one dying. I was concerned that Kane, if he managed to attack any of our squishies, would just, like, wreck us, because he does a lot of damage, but he didn't get that many turns compared to us, luckily. That's kind of... that's honestly the issue in strategy RPGs, in tactics RPGs in general. Bosses who are like a single powerful enemy, when that's the boss, the primary problem is the action economy, right? Like, we have 15 turns or whatever to his 1 turn. Unless you make them really fast so they get multiple turns you know, between your character's turns or whatever. So we can kind of overwhelm the boss with numbers. Which is obviously why they give other enemies around him to also fight, but in this case, we kind of split him off from them. Let's at least, oops. So this is the shrine. It's full of statues of dragons, including this one that has its own little table. Let's read this. Only for 2 heroes. No, first I want to read the sign. Dragon Shrine. The door opens for 2 heroes who come forward and show the way. Well, one of them is me, I guess. Who would the other one be? Maybe Henri? She's the princess. I'm assuming we have to use the light orb. I didn't look this up, so I actually don't know. The orb of light? No, I'm not. Search, maybe? Oh! Hi there. Oh, he's not dead. I thought he died. He spun around and exploded. Is that not a death animation? I mean, I guess it happens... But the priest raises our guys from the dead. I really thought that meant you died. Apparently it doesn't. He was just hanging out in the corner here. Come with me to the door. We must stop Dark Soul at any cost. Okay. He's the other hero, apparently, but he... I mean, even if we say, okay, all the evil he did was because of mind control, has he done anything particularly heroic? Like, we don't really know. I want revenge for what he has done to me. We must keep that manual from him. Understandable. Also, notice that he doesn't look anything like the main character, even though they're apparently brothers. And again, to me, he looks a lot like David Bowie. I'm thinking primarily of when he was Jareth in Labyrinth. It just kind of looks like that. He's also wearing a crown, it looks like. He's got that, like, gold thing on his head. Is he some kind of royalty? Also hilarious, his map sprite didn't change, so he still has the helmet. 2 heroes, I have waited long for such as you. Were we like prophecy? Because we're like brothers, apparently, in the Japanese version. So is it like prophecy that like the 2 bros show? Like, why is it us 2? There doesn't seem to be a reason. That door only needed 1 hero. Oh, I assume... Oh, it's Dark Soul. Kane, feeling more like yourself now, are you? You're spelling your name differently, too. This is the end, Dark Soul. Ben, get out now. You'll only be destroyed if you stay. I can't let Ben go. Now that I have what I wanted, I have no further need of him. Oh, maybe that's why Runefaust kept teleporting, like, not killing us and letting us kill their armies because they needed us to open the door? But... that doesn't really make sense also, because then why did they keep putting armies in our way? like that's the thing. I can understand it's like, oh, we can't kill Ben because we need him to open this door, but then why not just, like, kidnap us or something? Or, like, mind control us like they did to Kane? This doesn't really make sense, Dark Soul. You don't seem good at planning. You see, dear friends, I have both the key and the manual. I guess they were in this chest? Dark Soul Dragon will soon be free again. Also, the only way to open this chest was to have, like, these 2 random people show up. Because our party is full of people who are arguably quite heroic. So I don't know why they couldn't open it. Seizure warning. Go, Ben, run. I'll deal with Dark Soul. Wow, what the hell happened? Did Dark Soul just explode? It's like, did Kane explode? I just don't... I have no idea. But anyway, our bro died. We never even knew we had one, and in this version of the game, we still don't know because they didn't tell us. That music's still playing, so I assume there's something else we're supposed to do here. I think I'll just save the game. Maybe we leave the town? Because I assume it's like Kane now has the power to resurrect Dark Dragon or whatever, so we gotta find the means to destroy Dark Dragon, I guess? We'll probably need, like, the Weapon of the Ancients or whatever, I don't know. That battle only took half an hour, so let's just carry on. And at least see what's coming next. If I can work out where we're supposed to go. I'm assuming we just leave town. There doesn't seem to be anything else to do. Maybe. Let's try entering the town again. Oh, man. Gotta blow my nose 1 sec. I don't know if it's because of, like, the jaw movements involved in talking for an hour, like, just disturb your sinuses or something, but I, like, persistently have to blow my nose when I do LPs. I I do not know why. Although this doesn't happen when I DM. Maybe because I'm talking more quietly then, because I'm not talking into a microphone that's far away from me. I don't know. This guy's still here. Hi, man. Now it's... Okay, I actually have no idea what we're meant to do. Oh, maybe I guess we'll just try all the buildings in town. The battle music is still playing, so I assume there's still something that's supposed to be done. And leaving town didn't trigger anything. Well, that's just where blue was. Huh. I mean, I sort of assumed that there would be a cutscene once, like... Maybe we need to search the area where Kane died? There was nothing there. Like, my immediate thought was, oh, we gotta, you know... Well, actually, I was just like, I'm gonna go up there because it seems like the game wants us to leave. These guys are still just working in their shop. I mean, but if the battle music is still playing, I feel like there's still something supposed to happen here. Surely, right? I mean, maybe we have to, like, search this area? No? I don't know. I hope I didn't, like, break it somehow by going up when we weren't supposed to. That doesn't seem likely, though. Is there something down? Did we go in this building yet? No, we already went in here. I may have to, like, actually look up. Or maybe we need to go back to the other town we were in. Because we went to everywhere in this town, I'm pretty sure. But now the music is back to... And, like, I sort of figured there'd at least be a cutscene, you know? Maybe it's somewhere... Is there something else we're supposed to do? I sort of assumed eventually the rest of this map would become relevant. No? Sorry, this episode is apparently going to be really boring in the back half, but I literally have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. I guess we'll just try going back to the other town, because we went everywhere in Dragonia, and nothing happened. I sort of assumed when we left town there'd be a battle. Let's see if these guys have anything to tell us. Oh, okay, good. We were just supposed to talk to Karen. The game didn't indicate, and I was required to go back to town, so I kept assuming that there would be something more in the dragon place, like a cutscene being like, we have to go to wherever next. You needed a hero. I am a hero. Oh, we didn't go to this building before. I don't think it was possible. I had a dream about you last night. You were going into a castle shaped like a skull. That's probably where we're gonna fight, like, Dark Soul at some point. Sounds like the sort of place the villain would live, doesn't it? These kids are doing the laundry. Sorry about being nasty earlier. You're okay. My parents are getting back soon. I'm so excited. Why did they leave? Where did they go? A lot of things here were never explained. The Holy Staff, that is the upgrade for our healers, but I think they can't use it until they promote. Oh, you can also see Ben has the power ring right now. He's a bit weaker than the others. After promotion, I don't think he'll need it, but right now, he can't use the upgraded sword yet, you know, so it's tough. Yeah, she can't use it yet, as you can see. I do think we're in this part, I think I said this before, but we're at a point in the game where we could promote characters right now. We've gotten a high enough level. We're just waiting so we get the highest possible stats. But I think the game sort of assumes that probably you will do at least some promotions. And so, let's give this someone with high movement, so like they could use it on someone else possibly. And so you're given the upgraded weapons, which are a big boost in strength, so it's like the enemies are getting tougher to compensate for that so that your upgraded weapons don't steamroll them. So if we're choosing not to promote and therefore we can't use the upgraded weapons, we're a little weaker than the game might expect. Which we can partially compensate for by, you know, having additional levels, but as you've seen, not every level actually gives you any stats at all, and certainly they don't all give you stats like attack. And in fact, the higher level we get, for some characters, they start to just get less stats. You know, they level off if they have those quadratic shaped curves. So we are going to have a little bit more of a challenge here than the game may have intended. But it will pay off later, because our characters will ultimately, like at the final levels, be a bit tougher. See him at blue! Very enlightening. Okay, it seems like people don't necessarily have a ton to say here. I don't understand why this immediately... We never went here before. I'm not actually sure where we are. Dragonia, huh. Oh! Nice! Wow, well I'm glad we somehow came in here accidentally, because this guy's recruitable. He's Lyle, and he's been looking for us. You can see that he is already promoted. He's the upgraded class of the archers. He's a bit stronger than the other two, but I probably will still keep Diane on my team. Wow, I think we weren't able to get in this building before, I guess. Well, I'm glad we randomly searched all the buildings in town, because otherwise I would have completely missed that guy. I hadn't, like, looked up ahead of time where he was. I sort of thought we would just naturally run into him. I guess good thing I obsessively search everywhere in RPGs. Oh, she's just telling us the same thing. Chaos Breaker. Huh. Oh, this is quite useful, actually. So we have to find the Chaos Breaker and use it at the westernmost point of the sea, I guess, and the Castle of the Ancients will rise up. We didn't get the manual. This is very, very bad. I know. We tried. He was very strong. But it seems like our next goal has to be to find the Chaos Breaker sword so we can get into the Castle of the Ancients, which is probably that skull-shaped castle the kid saw in his dream. So, hopefully, we'll be able to do that, I guess. We're all proud of him. Well, he performed pretty well, I guess. I have not seen Corinne. She's very excited about something she found. Oh, that must be the sister of Karen. I see. So we did see her. Okay. Never mind then. I thought she might say something different. I think you should go to Prompt first. It's south of here. But be careful, there are lots of monsters out there. Okay, so... A, I assume that Prompt did not appear on the map until she said that, so now we can go down to that southern part of the map. B, there's going to be a battle once we leave town. Well, it hasn't been quite 40 minutes. I think we can do another battle. I think I'll save again, just so that, we don't have to deal with the cutscenes again if we, you know. I guess if you die, you don't go back before the last thing. I guess it, like, auto-saves a little, but, you know, just so we have the same file, I guess. So, we were gonna go to Prompt eventually anyway, because remember how that was, like, the land connected to the Ancients, I guess? There's also a secret character in Prompt. So this will be quite cool. I think aside from the secret character, there's only like the two secret characters, there's like 3 other characters we actually recruit. So we must be getting towards the end of the game anyway. Maybe there's like one more chapter after the one we're in. Not sure. Oh, we've been hounded by this lady since Alterone. She kept showing up. She summoned an evil circus to kill us. It seems like now we're actually going to fight her. Well, Ben, we meet once more. For the last time, I fear you will die here. We met all the other times because I was waiting for you to level up enough to beat me before I actually properly attacked you. My minions shall take care of you, but if they fail, I await you in the demon castle. Actually, no, she's still not going to fight us. She's still going to teleport away. She's like, you're still not quite powerful enough. Okay, so we've got some new enemies here, so let's take a look at the map. So this time we're using that... I think this honestly is why some of the maps have a very strange design, where parts of it are just not used. Because in the previous battle, we only used like this top area. The bottom area was not used, but it's because it was going to be reused for this fight. Unlike in, you know, so there are some strategy games, each level is like its own dedicated map, and you're just, whereas this one, they double as world maps, so I guess I can forgive it, even though the design is a little strange. But this one, the enemies are quite spread out, so it looks like we'll have to really travel over the whole map. You can see that our target is this town way down at the bottom. Oh, actually, that's the demon castle, so I guess that might be where we're going. That's terrifying. I don't see Prompt on the map. Yeah, I don't know where... We were supposed to go to Prompt, but all I see is a demon castle. So perhaps that's where we're headed. Maybe we have to go through there to get to Prompt, I don't know. Unfortunately, this entire area is covered with mountains, so this is going to be a pretty slow battle. Let's check out our new friend here, the Bow Rider. So this is just the upgraded sniper. They have the upgraded weapon also, which has 3 range. As you can see, they have quite high attack. Not a lot of defense, but they'll also be attacking us from range, so they'll be a bit tough to defeat. I'm glad we have so many. You know, if we die in this battle, I'll go back and swap in Kokichi so that we have every possible flying character. Because, oh my god, this battle is gonna suck. Oh, we've also got, these guys are new, the Belial. They're like an upgraded gargoyle, I guess. They have the Bolt spell. None of our dudes have got that yet. We'll get a mage who has it later on. It's not as powerful as the other spells. Their stats are sort of middling across the board, but, you know, with Bolt, they're a little dangerous, and they can fly, so they can surround us a bit. Are these gargoyles? Yes, so these are the gargoyles. You can see they're a recolor. The Belial is just a recolor of the gargoyles, so you can tell that they're, like, the same class of enemy, I guess. I'm assuming that our captain here is this guy, so we're gonna have to get all the way down there. But with our flying units, we might be able to just rush down here and avoid... Because, like, look at this. Look at how far... We'll have to walk all the way around this mountain. It's going to take forever, whereas our flyers can just literally go straight there. And this is not a map I want to grind on because... Oh, no! Oh, are you serious right now? Apparently our flying units also can't move through these mountains. Oh. This fight is going to be just painful. I thought the flying units would ignore the mountain terrain also, and we'd be able to just skip the map. Apparently, we're gonna have to walk all that way. Oh, this really sucks. This episode, we may have to retreat and go back just because otherwise the episode will take way too long. Because this map is not gonna be quick. It has a lot of enemies and the terrain is just... I also don't know if they can... I'm like, could we squeeze down through the sea? But no, because then they can't get... Oh, this is... Friends, this is bad. This is really bad. The maps in this game that really annoy me and which I really don't like, as I've said multiple times in episodes, are the ones with lots of movement restriction because they just are so tedious. They are this game's weak point, I feel. Well, they can go over... Actually, no. Maybe Domingo just couldn't go over the mountains. But he's the one who's the most useful because he does the most damage. These two, the birds can't go fight the Bow Rider on their own. They would probably get killed. Domingo, you're so good in every other way. Why can't you fly over the mountains? Why? Why, Domingo? My disappointment is so high. I really thought I could just send him down there, nuke the boss, and not have to do this map, which I really don't want to do. Oh. I'm wary of sending the 2 birds off by themselves because, maybe I should go back and swap in Kokichi because, you know, they're not very tanky, so they could get into a lot of trouble. I'll have to think about it. I guess I could at least send them to fight those Belials, you know, just get a little jump on it. And also the birds, like, they're strong, but they can't do the kind of massive damage that Domingo can with the spells. And also, Domingo is really defensive. Maybe that's why they made it so he can't just go across the mountains, because otherwise he would just break the game even more. But right now I really want to do that because I'm not looking forward to this map at all. The one in Dragonia, like, it wasn't like anything special, but at least it wasn't annoying. It was like, oh, there's a couple different clusters of enemies, you gotta move through them. And, well, Blue can move down there. Maybe we can do this, maybe. The fact that Kane was a moving boss and, like, actually came out to attack you once you're in range definitely added a bit more epicness to it. Oh, no, yeah, it's just Domingo. Domingo, I guess there's, like, 2 different levels of fly. He's, like, I guess, hovering. So he can move over terrain easily, but he can't get over the mountains, whereas our characters with wings are true flying. I guess. I cannot express to you viewers how deeply disappointing this is. I was like, finally, we'll be able to just skip this horrible map. We'll just send Domingo. And I can't. Oh. Well, you can tell he's a flying character because it has the sky background when they're fighting. That doesn't happen for the melees, but I guess he just can't fly over mountains. And he's the only flying magic user, which presumably is why he has that restriction to make him a little months, but I don't want him to be balanced right now. I want him to be as broken as possible. Well, we'll just have to endure it. And, you know, when I say endure it, I mean it. This is, you know, strap in, folks. This is gonna take time. I don't want to have her start using her spells already on, like, single target enemies. That's the thing. The mages, I find, are, like, when you have enemies clustered up, they're so powerful. They're just incredible. But when you just have one lone enemy, it feels like a waste to use their spells. And, yeah, you could use their lower level spells, but it's like, oh, I want to save their MP for, you know, a really big attack later. So, I feel like that does tend to happen with them, where, at certain points in the map, they're so useful, but other points, you're kind of waiting for them to get to the point where you need them. Oh, wow, one more level and maybe we'll be ready to promote. She might be our first promotion. I guess I'll have Henri just use a quick freeze 1, and hopefully that will take this guy out. I think it should do enough damage, but I don't know if they, like, magic resist. Good job, excellent. Just barely. Yay! Oh, a nice little MP boost. I'm pretty hyped to start promoting some people and showing off their sprites and stuff. Once we, I probably won't, this map I'm not going to grind on because it would suck. And it would take, the thing is the enemies are sort of, it's going to take us a while to actually reach a lot of them. So it would just be slow. Maps that are good for grinding are like, there's a cluster of enemies at the front. You know, then it's really good because you can just sort of keep replaying it. Also, just a side point out here, did you notice the incredible amount of damage that guy did? Oh, we already healed Tao, that's right. Chris is, we got a little bottleneck there, of course. The bow rider did more than half of Xylo's HP, and he's actually pretty tanky. So the bow riders, they can't take a lot of hits, but they can really dish out damage. So they're pretty dangerous, and they can attack from a high range. Domingo, you are less useful in this. I just can't get over that Domingo, the most incredibly useful character, we finally found a situation where he is actually not that useful. I can't handle it. Well, we may be in trouble here. Ooh, I shouldn't position them like that. Did not realize the Belial had that much range. Well, I guess we'll get to see this spell. It also is a little like, this could give you epilepsy. Oh, okay, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back. This is going to be a really tough fight because of these mountains. I'm going to swap in Kokichi so that we have more flyers. It's very cold in my room right now. I'm going to swap in Kokichi so we have the maximum number of flyers because this map is going to be really hard to navigate, and you could see the part of the reason Xylo got into danger is that no one could get over to him to actually attack that guy. He ignores a lot of terrain penalties. So he easily got out ahead of the rest of the party and got into trouble because we couldn't actually protect him. So this map is, this is gonna be quite a thing. Maybe I should cut this episode here and then start another one just on that battle, because otherwise it's really going to run over. We're almost at an hour already, and this battle is gonna take way more than 20 minutes. Also, look at that amount of money. Grinding makes you really rich. Like, dang. Of course, if we die, we'll lose so much money. Save the game. Well, I mean, you know, but if we get into 20, maybe I'll also, unless we're really far into the battle, because if we get far into battle, I do not want to go back. Okay, no, we will not continue our journey. We're going to start a new episode. So, friends, in this episode, we fought Kane. We had some very dramatic revelations. Unfortunately, Dark Soul seized both the key and the manual of the seal, so he's going to resurrect Dark Dragon and devastate the world unless we can stop him. But unfortunately, he might succeed because it's going to take us fucking forever to go across these mountains. But we shall do it in the next episode. It may take a while, but we are going to get through these darn mountains. So until next time, goodbye Simone and goodbye viewers. This has been Shining Force.